It's High Noon with David. He's gone and fallen in love with Jesus and bringing boldness to the body of Christ. Here's David.
All right, back again. Bringing boldness to the body of Christ. Bringing you this gift. Talking to those of you that are about to become believers, and those of you that already are and you're wanting more. You're hungry to know this Creator, this Jesus that rescued you. You know the difference between all the religions of the earth and what I'm bringing to you in my message through these short videos daily is that our deal is free. All the other stuff, you got to work your way into it. The wages of sin is death, Romans 6:23, but the gift. And I want to encourage you, listen in to these short stories every day. I know I probably should go a little longer, but I know I'm going to be as short as I can. I'm holding them down to 4 minutes. So anyway, I was born in a little town, Mississippi. We had to think up stuff to do because most of us didn't have any money. And we couldn't afford to do things that a lot of folks did, so we just created stuff to do. It was amazing, the people up in the big city that would come to our area, we were more creative about stuff to do than they were because we had to thunk stuff up. Anyway, raised in church, my pastor, Brother Brock, first pastor when I was from the time I was a child growing up, he was Jerry Clower's pastor and baptized him when he was a boy. If you don't know who he is, if you're from around Mississippi in the southeast, you know who he is. But anyway, he was my pastor later on in life. And the one thing I knew about him being my pastor from the time I was a little boy, I heard some negative things later on in life, but it didn't matter to me because I was convinced that my pastor loved me and cared about me from the time I was born on earth on in. And my grandson came up to me the other day and said, well, is God real? I've never seen God before. And I was so excited to hear him asking the questions because, in sales, questions are the answer. And I'm telling you that when somebody starts questioning and asking about God and what about this and what about that's called seeking God. And if you start asking questions and you're sincere, you'll start getting some answers. And that's how this journey began with me as a kid. I was in church all the time. I was raised in church. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And I've said it many times, if your church ain't got some cigarette butts outside the door, if you ain't got wet spots where people are spitting from dipping snuff like I used to do, if you ain't got somebody cussing outside in the yard, you ain't reaching your community for Jesus. Because when you start reaching out, you bring in all kinds of things. But that's what Jesus is all about. Jesus is a rescue. He didn't hold you up, so you better line up. He came down on our level and died for us, for you, because God so loved us, He gave us His Son. That if you would believe on Him, that's the reason these videos are going out, to share my life story, are going all over the world, telling people about Jesus, seeing the miracles and the healings, the powerful things God's done through deliverance, and getting caught smuggling Bibles into the Soviet Union and having an Estonian come shouting and rescue me from the Russian soldiers and just pull me on through. A lot of things, a lot of stories. So, love you. I'll be back again tomorrow. Stay tuned for the best